Hello, folks. This is Kevin from Good Day, Good Prayers. I have some information that has to do with the Detroit Lions. The Detroit Lions this year are 7-5. Last year, they were at this time 11-1. Unfortunately, the one thing that they were hoping would save their season is not going to happen. Center Frank Ragnow, who had retired during the off-season, decided to try to make a comeback. Unfortunately, Frank Ragnow has, as of today, officially failed his physical and is not going to be able to return this year to the Detroit Lions. I can tell you that had he returned to the Lions, it would have been too little too late. The Lions have lost during the off-season their offensive coordinator and their defensive coordinator. They lost Zeitler, which was one of their tackles, one of their guards, and then Ragnow, who had been often injured but was still an all-star center, decided to retire. The replacement for him, Glasgow, was not playing very well, and so they needed for Frank Ragnow to return. Now, he wouldn't have been able to return this week against Dallas, but he would have been able to return against the Rams. Now, that's not going to happen. They will have Glasgow. They will have Ratledge, and probably Awasika will be in the middle unless they're able to come up with somebody else. In the last game, he did very poorly, and so did Graham Glasgow as the center. It looks like Glasgow might be toward the end of his career, and I don't think he's going to be able to recover enough to be able to come back. Now, Christian Mahogany is out with a broken leg and won't be returning this year. So Awasika may possibly be the only alternative they have. He had a good game followed by a very bad game, and that's kind of been the way that it has been with him this year. Frazier, a young rookie who was drafted in this last class, is potentially going to be able to come back within the next week or so, and it could be somewhat of a help. He is a very good player, but for whatever reason was drafted late in the draft, and now he's going to have an opportunity possibly to take the place of Awasika, and it's very possible that that could be a help. The other problem on the offensive line this year is Taylor Decker. Taylor Decker is the elder statesman on the offensive line, and he's the left tackle, the one that protects the quarterback, and unfortunately he has kind of fallen by the wayside just a little bit, and it looks like he'll have to be replaced before the beginning of next season. The Lions are going to need a new offensive coordinator because of the fact that the man they have in place right now is not able to do the job. Now, Shepard, the defensive coordinator, has done a pretty good job, and it looks like he's going to be able to do the job long term. However, the offense has really been stumbling and fumbling this year, with the offensive line not being as good as it has been in past years. Jared Goff, the quarterback, has been finding himself on the ground an awful lot. This is probably the most times that he has been hit in one season, and it's very possible that they could lose him for the rest of the year if they don't have a better system of protecting him. Now, I know that Dan Skipper can come in and he can help. The problem with Skipper is that he is a backup, and even though he really works hard, sometimes he is unable to get it done. The other one, Giovanni Manu, has just not played up to par this year. I imagine that they're going to give him another chance next year. But in the meantime, they better get somebody in there to take over for Taylor Decker, because Taylor Decker is having a lot of issues. This is Kevin from Good Day, Good Prayers, and I want you to have a good day. And a good day always starts with good prayers, and if they reach the throne of God, that's your key. And I can tell you right now, those of you who are Detroit Lions fans, you might better be praying, and you might want to seek the throne of God, because this season could very well be a season that the Lions don't make the playoffs. Good day.